Hi, I'm Bill Bryant with the Georgia Appalachian Trail Club, and I'm standing here at the arch at Amicalola Falls State Park, the beginning of the approach trail and the beginning of an adventure for thousands of hikers every year as they head out from here to go to Katahdin, Maine. Of course, they come with lots of questions, and these can be things as far as where should I camp? How many miles should I walk every day? What about water? What about bears? How do I get food resupplied along the trail? In an attempt to answer these questions, the club is going to produce a series of episodes about the Georgia Trail and some specifics about it that will help you plan your hike and have a great adventure. Hi, I'm sure everybody's aware of the Leave No Trace principles. As a reminder and a bit of a refresher as you head out, we've put these signs along the approach trail with each of the 7 principles. Take some time to read these and refresh your memory on ways to behave on the trail that help support and sustain the trail for everybody, and we appreciate your support. Before we move along, I also wanted to point out that there is a shelter in the Amicalola Falls State Park, the Max Epperson Shelter. You can stay here first come, first serve, like all of the shelters in Georgia. Also inside the park, there's a single shower you can use overnight, and they leave the restrooms in the visitor center open 24 hours a day during the hiking season, so you can use those as well. In addition, there's a lodge and a restaurant at the top of the falls, but it's kind of a hike to get up there, but it's available for your use. Once you leave the park boundary, you're in the National Forest, and there's dispersed camping there as well. So plenty of options as you plan that first day. Okay, so that's a wrap up of what's available here at the beginning of the approach trail inside the park for your use and planning as you get ready for your hike. Next, we're going to introduce Lynn Beason, one of our experienced long distance hikers. She's hiked in the US and abroad, and she'll be taking you on a hike along the approach trail and give you pointers and tips about what to look out for at the beginning, along the way, and at the end as you reach Springer Mountain.
And I'm standing here at the base of Amicalola Falls on the approach trail. You can actually see Amicalola Falls right here over my shoulder, and the stairs, 603 of them, that snake their way up the Blue Ridge Escarpment to the top of Amicalola Falls. When you start your through hike, this is one of the first, I guess you could say, most difficult things you will encounter. And a lot of through hikers underestimate Georgia. What they really underestimate is the weather in Georgia. Georgia weather is very unpredictable. It wildly can range from moderate days like today to raging, howling winds, to snow, to ice storms, and occasionally we may even get a tornado up here. So you need to always be prepared and alert to the weather conditions. As I'm starting to hike in the winter, I'm carrying my winter gear and my winter equipment. Today's temperature was 30 degrees, right now it's 62. But on top of Springer, it's supposed to be in the mid-20s. So I've got my cold weather gear so that I'm prepared for those types of conditions. So I'm all set, and I'm going to hike off now on the approach trail to Springer Mountain. I've just hiked 8.5 miles on the approach trail, and now I'm at the summit of Springer Mountain, the southern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. And that white blaze that I touched, that's mile 0. Every mile going forward from here takes us to Katahdin. Here at Springer, the elevation is 3,782 feet. But in a week or two, as I hike further north, there will be a significant change in altitude, up to 5,000 to 6,000 feet, and a wide variation in temperatures, as much as 4 to 10 degrees colder than it is here. A good rule of thumb is for every 1,000 feet in elevation gain, you lose 3 degrees. Therefore, it's going to be much colder. So you need to be properly equipped, and you need to think about the fact you'll be entering the Smokies, which has extreme winter weather conditions. You will always want to carry your winter gear with you, well past the Smokies, well past Mount Rogers in Virginia, which is about 533 miles from here. As I stand here in the bright winter sun, I'm reminded of the fact that what do you get in winter? You get short daylight hours and very long nights. Sometimes the nights can be 12 to 14 to 15 hours long, and even with the best of winter gear, it can prove to be quite uncomfortable. Your day starts in winter, can be extended periods of long, long, cold nights. So that's just something to keep in mind. And when I think about daylight, I think about the fact that, oh, what happens in March? Well, daylight savings time. And daylight savings time can be very beneficial when you think about a start date after the change in time. What do you gain? You gain an hour. That means more afternoon sunlight, that means better hiking experiences, and that means that you're not hunkered down in your tent and your sleeping bag for an extended period of time. This is the official register for the Springer Mountain Summit. It's actually a historical record. It records everyone who signs their name here. As a thru hiker, it's a very special moment if you're hiking north to sign your name and your start date. It's also a record going forward because you'll find registers like this in a number of the shelters as you hike north. It's a good idea. Sign it, date it, so we can always know where you may be in case you need to be found. Let's go hiking, and I'll see you in the next episode of our video series.
Thank you for watching the first episode of our series on the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. We look forward to seeing you again in future episodes as we tell you more tips and tricks for being successful in your thru hike. I'd also like to mention that the Georgia Appalachian Trail Club would love to have you as a member or as a friend of the trail to help support our efforts to maintain the trail in Georgia. You can find information about our membership, more tips and tricks, and some FAQs on our website listed on the screen. Thanks, and see you soon.
The Georgia Appalachian Trail Club manages, maintains, and protects the Appalachian National Scenic Trail in Georgia with volunteers from its membership and the interested public. Our club promotes the appreciation of the Appalachian Trail and natural outdoor places through education and recreational activities with an emphasis on conservation ethics and protection of the forests, their natural resources, and wilderness areas.